السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على أشرف المخلوقين سيدنا وحبيبنا محمد صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. Inshallah, we'll continue to study Tafseer al-Quran from a new surah, Surah Al-Infitar, surah number 82 in Al-Mushaf al-Sharif, inshallah. Surah Al-Infitar is start again, like most of the surah in the 30th juz, talking about the incidents of the Day of Judgment. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إِذَا السَّمَاءُ انفطرت وَإِذَا الْكَوَاكِبُ انثَطَرت وَإِذَا الْبِحَارُ فُجِّرَتْ وَإِذَا الْقُبُورُ بُعْثِرَتْ. This first four sentences or four ayahs, it tells us about the situation of the world on the Day of Judgment. إِذَا السَّمَاءُ انفطرت. When as-sama, the heavens, infatara in Arabic language, inqasama. It's been divided, broken, if you want. And some of the mufassirin, they said, what do you mean by the as-sama? Is it the sun? Is it the moon? Is it the world? So they have different opinion regarding this matter. But we know for sure that there will be a day that everything will be broken because of the earthquake of the Day of Judgment. As the Quran mentioned many places, called az-zilzala, إِذَا زُلْزِلَتِ الْأَرْضُ زِلْزَالَهَا. وَإِذَا الْكَوَاكِبُ انثَطَرَتْ. The kawakib, the other planets. And when we say kawkab, it doesn't mean a star. In Arabic language, kawkab means a planet. Star, it's najm, star. The difference that the kawakib don't have lights. They receive light from the moon or from the sun. But the stars, it has light by itself. So when those kind of planets also will be spreading out everywhere, we don't know that much about it, but now we are very advanced. We know that there are many planets around us, and we know that there are many galaxies around us. So the Quran also tells us that all those planets will be, I don't know, will be just in the air. There will be no balance. وَإِذَا الْبِحَارُ فُجِّرَتْ. The bihar, the oceans, any body of water, it could be called bahr. So فُجِّرَتْ in Arabic language, it means that the water will be removed, there will be no water, or the water will be pouring somewhere else also. Again, just imagine we say some tsunami is happening, what happened to the oceans, to the rivers, and so. So imagine this situation that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking about, the heavens, the planets, and also the oceans. Definitely there will be no life. You cannot live in a certain place like that. No life not only on earth, but no life in the entire universe. We don't know if there are some other kind of creatures that are living in some other planets. We have no idea. وَإِذَا الْقُبُورُ بُعْثِرَتْ. So definitely, if this will happen, so people will be resurrected from their graves. So maybe what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying is some of the signs of the Day of Judgment. The Day of Judgment. About the planets, about the heavens, about the oceans. And that gives a sign that وَإِذَا الْقُبُورُ بُعْثِرَتْ. The qubur, that's the plural form of qabr. All the qubur will be what? Coming up. And in Arabic language, ba'thara, when you spread something but not in order, you spread it in a very messy way. And that's probably, it will tell us that the people will be resurrected, will be coming out from their graves on the Day of Judgment. And we're talking about the graves, talking about the graves from the day of Adam alayhi salam up to the last day. We're talking about billions of human beings, I don't know how many it could be, and everyone will be coming out from their graves. Even those that they were not buried, still they will be resurrected. A person, subhanallah, may Allah protect all of us, there's an airplane crash, everybody is burned, still that person will come back to life. A person he died in the oceans, all his body goes to the belly of the wells or whatever, still it will be coming up, subhanAllah. وَإِذَا الْقُبُورُ بُعْثِرَتْ. And all the graves also be resurrected, subhanAllah. If that's the situation, Allah is saying, عَلِمَتْ نَفْسٌ مَا قَدَّمَتْ وَأَخَّرَتْ. Every soul on that day will be given information. You will know مَا قَدَّمَتْ وَمَا أَخَّرَتْ. What they did in this life, or what they also saved for the hereafter. And each one of us, probably right now, we may not know that much. Because when you're talking about yourself, what happened 10 years ago, probably you forgot. What happened 20 years ago, you probably don't remember. What happened 30 years ago? I know most of the people are younger than that. 40 years ago, 50 years ago. All those things you probably don't remember anything about it. And then on that day you will know. Everything is in the books. It will be written. Abdul Umar ibn Abdul Aziz, one of the pious khulafa, one day when he was still an emir, a prince, he was not the khalifa yet, and they went for a trip. They went for hunting, and each one of them has his own horse. And as the emir, when he arrived, he doesn't need to do anything. He just run after whatever, could be a deer. In the end of the day, when he came back, he realized something. He forgot to put his own tent. So everyone else, the king, the other ministers, everyone has his own. But when he came, he realized that he didn't do it, and probably his helpers didn't do it. And he felt very sad. But when they asked him, no worry, somebody will do it for you. He said, no. It just reminded me about the day of judgment, that I didn't prepare for the ending of the day. I didn't prepare when I will come back just to take a rest. And then he said, that's actually مَا قَدَّمَتْ وَمَا أَخَّرَتْ. What did you prepare for the hereafter? Did you prepare something? Or you didn't have anything? It's not in your mind, subhanAllah. عَلِمَتْ نَفْسٌ مَا قَدَّمَتْ وَأَخَّرَتْ. So you will definitely know about yourself. It's all in the books. Or even before that. SubhanAllah, when a person is dying, he will see probably the movie of his life in front of his eyes. All what you did, the good, the bad. You said the truth, you lied, you cheated, you were honest. All that would come in front of your eyes. With the people that you love, you don't love, your enemies. You see that. It's all. And subhanAllah, the most we get older, probably we have to realize that a little bit better. Because you start realizing that I'm not going to live as long as I already live. It's not going to be another 40 years more, another 30 years more, another 20 years more. I'm much closer to the grave than something else or than any other time before. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, عَلِمَتْ نَفْسٌ مَا قَدَّمَتْ وَأَخَّرَتْ. So if we know what we prepare for the hereafter and what we did already in this life, Allah is telling us in a such sweet way, but also in a such blaming way also. Allah is saying, Ya ayyuhal insan, O you the insan, the human being, ma gharraka bi rabbika al-kareem. It's a question, but it's called istifham inkari. Someone is asking you, but not in a sense of asking you a question, but probably reminding you. Ma gharraka. What is the thing that took you away from your Lord? But Allah used the word al-kareem instead of using something else. Usually when you want to scare somebody, you tell him something else. Say, you're not scared of that bad guy, of that dictator, of that person who has the power, of that person who always takes revenge. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, oh you the human being, ma gharraka, what took you away from your Lord? Al-Kareem. And anyone who has a little of dignity, some of respect for himself, if someone is nice to you and you do something bad to that person, and then you realize that, or then you met that person and he looks at you It's like he's not even asking you, but he just look at you and he's like same way, like he's, why did you do this to me? I didn't do anything bad to you. I was nice to you. I did a lot of favor to you without telling you that. If you have any kind of a human feeling, you start realizing, you start feeling guilty. Why did I do that? I shouldn't do that. Even if I have to do that, not with this person. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala now, the one, He said, what took you away from me? Me, your Lord. And then He said, Al-Kareem, the one who is always kind to you, nice to you, generous with you. And of course we know that. Nobody is more generous than Allah to us. How? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He put few words, He say, بِرَبِّكَ الْكَرِيمِ الَّذِي خَلَقَكَ. So the first one, He is the one who created you. So He has all the men on you, all the favor on you. No one could create you but only Allah. And He just favored you by creating you. If Allah didn't want to even create you, He's not going to create you. Now He honored you and He favored you and He created you with all, we know the steps from so and so, you are in the womb of your mom, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect you in all those 9 months, growing and being protected. Even during this period of time, probably you couldn't make it. You may die, but then you were born, right? You are being created, subhanAllah, and you come to this life. So you are being honored by even being created. But it's not only that. Any creatures in the world, subhanAllah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala favored them by giving them the opportunity to be created. By you, the human being, Al-Insan, He did not only create you, but He created you in the shape of a human being. It could be in the shape of a dog, a pig, a camel, name it, whatever you want to say. But He created you what? In the shape of the human being. This khalq of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is no other creature could be compared to you. A lion, a tiger, an elephant, a monkey, a donkey, whatever you want to say. None of this creature has what you have. You're the only creature that, subhanAllah, you wear clothes to cover yourself. The other creatures, they don't have that issue. They just walk like that. You're the only creature that if you want to use the bathroom, you go and you hide yourself and you clean yourself. Other creatures don't have this, subhanAllah. And you are the creature who, any creature in the world is to serve you. You're talking about what? Allah created, for example, goats, cows, chickens, fish, and you are the one to use it. Trees, fruits, vegetables, you are the one. So these are some little of the favors of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's reminding you, يا أيها الإنسان ما غرك بربك الكريم الذي خلقك فسواك فعدلك. سواك. The way how He made you, subhanallah, your feet, your hands, your eyes, your face, your nose. If you try to change anything in your body in a different way, you're going to look weird. Only this kind of the way how, you know, subhanAllah, sometimes you want to fix something, just a little small example, and then you say, I want to cover my hand, I want to put a glove, and then you want to put the glove so you could fix something. You don't have the same control of your hand with a glove if you have just a bare hand. Why? Because the way how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made your hand, subhanAllah. Anything in you, it's perfect. Perfect as a human being, subhanAllah. الذي خلقك فسواك فعدلك. In another قراءة فعدلك. And both of them, it goes to the same meaning. عدلك, He changed your shape in a specific way. And subhanAllah, في أي صورة ما شاء ركبك. The way He wants your image, Allah is the one who wants you to come in that image. In a hadith of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, somebody had a new baby born, and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked him, "What is it?" He said to Rasulullah, "What could be? Either a boy or a girl." It's like he said, "Okay, How does it look like? He say, it's going to look just like me or like the mother. And Rasulullah sallallahu said, no, it's not. It doesn't have to be like that. It doesn't have to be like you or the mother. And then this hadith probably is not very strong, but Rasulullah sallallahu said, according to this narration, that when the baby is in the womb of the mom, and it's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who will decide how the baby will looks like. And then you could look at any of the images of your great fathers or mothers from you to Adam alayhi salam. Subhanallah, you could look at anything. And that's why sometimes you find people that they have a dark skin but their kids are white skin. Or even the shape, or they are taller and their parents are shorter. Or subhanallah. So it's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who said, في أي صورة ما شاء ركبك. He is the only one. The way He wanted, He will put your image, subhanallah. Of course, the Mufassirin had many other explanation for this specific ayah. After Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala spoke now about the day of judgment, and He reminded you about what you did and what you prepared for the hereafter, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminded you about His favor on you, because He's the one who created you, fixed you, He made you, He gave you this image. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, كَلَّا بَلْ تُكَذِّبُونَ بِالدِّينِ. No, still you are denying the day of judgment. And that was the biggest issue with the people of Quraysh. They believe that there is no hereafter. They always to say, أَإِذَا مِتْنَا وَكُنَّا تُرَابًا وَعِظَامًا أَإِنَّا لَمَبْعُوثُونَ. After we're going to die, we're going to become bones, sand, we're going to come back. Our آباؤنا الأولون, even our forefathers who died hundreds of years, none of them came back. And you think we're going to come back, subhanallah. In our time, we think about it differently. We believe in the day of judgment, but we don't act like there's a day of judgment. We take every day by day like I'm going to live forever. Although we see people dying in front of us, young people, old people, babies, subhanallah, healthy people, unhealthy people, everybody died. But we feel like, I'm not going to die. It's not me, it's not my turn yet, subhanallah. Allah is saying, كَلَّا بَلْ تُكَذِّبُونَ بِالدِّينِ. You are denying. Over here, ad-deen, it doesn't mean the religion, but it means the day of judgment. And actually, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He mentioned that in another place. He said, يَوْمُ الدِّينِ, the day of the ad-deen. وَإِنَّ عَلَيْكُمْ لَحَافِظِينَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, each one of you, they have something called hafidhi. In Arabic language, the word hafidh, now we start using the word hafidh as the one who memorized the Quran. But the word hafidha, yahfadu, it means something else. It means the protector, or also the one who's watching you. The one who is watching you. Huffaz, subhanallah. How does it go from here to there? In Arabic language, again, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is naming the angels who are watching us daily as hafidhi. Hafidhi, not only they watch us, but actually they protect us. There are many things that could happen, but with the will of Allah, it doesn't happen. For a little child who plays all the time, and then you say, oh, he was about this to happen, he's about to fall down, he's about to, but it doesn't happen. There is a hafidh, a protector, that protecting him. Of course, the protection is of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but He put in angels to protect us, subhanallah. وَإِنَّ عَلَيْكُمْ لَحَافِظِينَ. To protect us, but also to watch us. They are watching us all the time. كِرَامًا كَاتِبِينَ. Kiraman and Katibin. Kiraman, in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, these are honored creatures, and these are the angels. Katibi, the word of kataba yaktubu, they write down all what we do. I mentioned that probably a few weeks ago. Sometimes when we ask the question, what's the name of the angels, and we name them, these are kiram and these are katibin. No, that's not. That's not. These are adjectives to describe them, what they do. What they do, all of them, both of them. Both angels that are on the side, both of them are kiram and both of them are katibin. Both of them are honored in the eyes of Allah. Both of them are writing. It's not like this one is kiram and this one is katib. No, both of them they write. Everything, subhanallah. And even the verb, the word is in a plural form, not in the dual form, subhanallah. So but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala described the angels that are watching us and they are writing whatever we do. and these are honored by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because they are in charge of us. Subhanallah. لا يعصون الله ما أمرهم. Of course, they don't disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for anything that Allah will ask them, will order them to do. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, وَإِنَّ عَلَيْكُمْ لَحَافِظِينَ كِرَامًا كَاتِبِينَ يَعْلَمُونَ مَا تَفْعَلُونَ. They know what you are doing, subhanallah. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He said in the last part, now talking about the Day of Judgment. So, إِنَّ الْأَبْرَارَ لَفِي نَعِيمٍ. Al-Abrar is the pure form for bar, someone who's good to himself, to his family, to his parents, and of course to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He say, Al-Abrar lafi na'im. Indeed, they will be in what? Na'im. Na'im actually is a luxurious life if you want. But also, we cannot deny that Jannah has some name, that this is Jannatu Na'im. Jannah called Na'im. But the word Na'im means that you are having a lavish life, a beautiful life, a good life, a luxurious life, where in the hereafter. For example, when you describe a king and the way how he used to live, you say, إِنَّهُ لَفِي نَعِيمٍ. He's like in a very beautiful life, he's enjoying whatever he wanted. Allah is saying, إِنَّ الْأَبْرَارَ لَفِي نَعِيمٍ وَإِنَّ الْفُجَّارَ لَفِي جَحِيمٍ. In Arabic language, this is called muqabala. You face two things and you say, okay, this is the situation of those and this is the situation of the other one. And al-kuffar, the deniers, the non-believers, la fi jahim. Indeed, they will be in jahim, in punishment if you want. When someone, his life is completely bad, you say he is in hell, just like you said. So jahim means hell if you want. And also, there's also names of certain hell in the hereafter called jahim. But jahim in general, it means a bad life or a very difficult life, a painful life, a burning life. Allah is saying, يَصْلَوْنَهَا يَوْمَ الدِّينِ. They will be facing that kind of jahim on the day of the deen, which is, we say, the day of judgment. وَمَا هُمْ عَنْهَا بِغَائِبِينَ. They will never be missing that. Ghaib means absent or missing something. So in the day of judgment, the kuffar, they will be every day. So they don't have break. They don't have weekend. They don't have day off. Every day is the same. Subhanallah. وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا يَوْمُ الدِّينِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala again is telling, وَمَا, you know what's the يَوْمُ الدِّينِ? When He said that, it's not to ask you what you know or what you know, but to tell you how it is. It's something huge and big. Sometimes you tell someone, you know, certain things, oh, I don't need to tell you what is it. Or you know what is it. It's like something huge and big. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is reminding us, that's the day of judgment, يَوْمُ الدِّينِ. ثُمَّ مَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا يَوْمُ الدِّينِ. In Arabic language, this is called tawqeed, emphasizing, repeating that. Whenever something is important, we repeat the word again or the sentence again. ثُمَّ مَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا يَوْمُ الدِّينِ. What is that يَوْمُ الدِّينِ? يَوْمَ لَا تَمْلِكُ نَفْسٌ لِنَفْسٍ شَيْئًا. No soul will have anything in their hand for another soul. We mentioned that in previous surahs when we say يَوْمَ يَفِرُّ الْمَرْءُ مِنْ أَخِيهِ وَأُمِّهِ وَأَبِيهِ وَصَاحِبَتِهِ وَبَنِيهِ. The day when a person will run away even from his brother, from his father, his mom, his wife, his spouse, his children. Nobody will be there for you. Exception, of course, the good people. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that is the day. يَوْمَ لَا تَمْلِكُ نَفْسٌ لِنَفْسٍ شَيْئًا. No soul will have anything for the other one, especially if they are in difficulties. Even Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam mentioned that many times to his own family. And he said, don't come to me on the day of judgment. People will come with their deeds and you come in with empty hands. And this is actually the beauty of the Islam. وَلَا تَزِرُ وَازِرَةٌ وِزْرَ أُخْرَى. Nobody carries the sin of someone else, but no one can benefit someone else. In this dunya, you may benefit them. In this dunya, you may do something to benefit them. Let's say, my father passed away, and I do good deed. And I say, oh Allah, this is please in the account of my father. Oh, I read some Quran, I say, oh Allah, with this Quran, please forgive my father. Or if I do any kind of good deed and someone say, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala do something good to your father who give you this education, or who give you this kind of adab. So yeah, that will help. In this dunya, But in the hereafter, if you did not do it, it's too late. It is too late. So in the hereafter, you cannot make up anything. It's already decided. If you did something in this dunya for yourself, for your father, for your mom, for your family, it is done. It's already there. But once you reach that destination, the books are already closed. Everything is written. If you did something, it is the day. If you did not do anything, too late, subhanallah. And that mentioned the beginning of the Quran. عَلِمَتْ نَفْسٌ مَا قَدَّمَتْ وَأَخَّرَتْ. Every soul, they know what they did or what they save for the hereafter. Allah is saying, يَوْمَ لَا تَمْلِكُ نَفْسٌ لِنَفْسٍ شَيْئًا وَالْأَمْرُ يَوْمَئِذٍ لِلَّهِ. And all the issue, the affair, the decision, it's only in the hand of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This does not deny what we believe in shafa'ah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. But even that shafa'ah, it's also conditional. It's with certain conditions. And all of us, we know the hadith of shafa'ah, that the people will go to Adam, they will go to Nuh, they will go to Ibrahim, they will go to Musa, they will go to Isa. And each one of them say, Nafsi, Nafsi, myself, myself, my soul, I cannot do anything for you, subhanAllah. Imagine prophets and messengers like the caliber of Ibrahim alayhi salam, or Musa alayhi salam, or Isa alayhi salam. They will say to their nation, to their people, it's only myself. And even when it comes to Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, people should not take it by granted that, okay, Rasulullah will take us. Even the hadith says, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam will say, فَأَسْجُدُ تَحْتَ الْعَرْشِ. He said, I will go and I will prostrate in front of the arsh of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, مَا شَاءَ لِي. He said, I don't know how long I will be prostrating there. A day, a month, a year. And when I say that, I'm not exaggerating. It could be any of those, subhanallah. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He will tell him, okay, raise up. And he said, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, that hadith, فَيَفْتَحُ اللَّهُ عَلَيَّ بِمَحَامِدٍ. He said, Allah, He opens the doors for me, or He give my tongue the eloquency to say certain words of praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is the Prophet didn't know before. But he said, that day Allah will open that for me. And then he will ask him, ask and I will give you. It's just I want to say that everything is in the hand of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and no one. Some they may deserve that shafa'ah, and some they may not even deserve it. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive all of us. وَاسْتَغْفِرُ اللَّهَ فِي جَمِيعِ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ if you have any comments or questions. In this dunya, we still have something to do for them. So if you make dua for your father, say, oh Allah, accept that. And we know from the hadith that Rasulullah told us, make dua for your father. And we know from the hadith, it says when someone does something good, right? And then their parents, they will be rewarded by going higher in rank. And Rasulullah, and even in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, رَبِّرْحَمْهُمَا كَمَا رَبَّيَانِي صَغِيرًا. So we know that this is what Allah told us in this dunya. But once I go to the hereafter, do I still have anything in my hand to do there? None. If I did something, it's done. If I didn't do anything, nothing is there. And even if I do, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't want to accept it, or if I did it with something just to show off, or I did it with no sincerity, or I did it because I want the people to say, look at him, mashallah, he's good, he's making dua for his father. Remember, those a'mal, the condition is the ikhlas. No ikhlas, nothing. Nothing, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, subhanallah, the hadith says, I am the one who does not accept a partner in anything. So when you think I'm doing this for something and for Allah, Allah says, okay, take it. No, it's not. أنا غني عن الشرك. You say, I don't need a sharik with me in anything. So whenever we do something, even a little small thing, if it has the sincerity, it's only for Him, it will be accepted. We all know that beautiful hadith of Baghi, a prostitute, Azzakumullah, you say, a woman was traveling and she was very thirsty, and that woman, again, the hadith say, Baghi, not a good woman. and she was thirsty. She found the well, took the water with the pain. So when she came out, she found a dog. So she said, this dog has so much pain like I had in thirst. So she went down again, all the pain, and went. Why did she do that? There was nobody around her. There's no one to show up. There's no one. But actually she did it for a good reason. So she went and she said, فَشَكَرَ اللَّهُ لَهَا فَغَفَرَ اللَّهُ غَفَرَ لَهَا. Allah was thankful to her, so He forgave her. So the amal in this dunya could be accepted. And that could help us or family or whatever. But in the hereafter, if you did something, it's done. If we did not do something, there's no way out. May Allah forgive all of us. لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد يحيي ويميت وهو حي لا يموت بيده الخير وإليه المصير وعلى كل شيء قدير. اللهم ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين.